Ken is in the house. Good to see you, Ken. How are you today? Got some background noise going on. How are you? Let me get the chat pulled up here so I can read it a tiny bit better. That's us. That's us. The gracious host. The host with the mostest. The mostest with the hostess. The chat pulled up here so I can read. There we go. Look at this over here. Oh, I forgot to check my lottery tickets. Dang it. I could be a billionaire and not even know it. Right here, right now. I could be one. But I don't even know it. Man, that's crazy. I bought lottery tickets the other day, but I haven't checked them. All right. I will help you. So Ken, how are you doing today, man? What's going on in your world? Hang on. All good in Indiana? Yeah. It's all right so far to say. Today, everything's going pretty good, here. I mean, it's been quiet. I need to go out in the 200 degrees heat and get the trash can pulled up from the curb. I just don't want to do it yet, And I've been still nursing these weird head thing I got going on. There's something going on in my brain. But I did get my MRI scheduled for the middle of September. So let me get caught up here. All right. Chills is in the house. All good in Indiana. Chills says, reminds me of the beach. Yes, yes, yes. Sosa, my friend, is in the house. Good to see you. How are you? Thank you for being here. We appreciate y'all coming in. We do indeed. Just a midday live stream. Nothing too important and too exciting. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we can. Oh, I need to take some sinus medicine. My allergies have been going crazy. I don't know if it's allergies, sinuses, brain tumor, whatever, but migraines. But I've been sucking down every kind of different drug there is the last 4 or 5 weeks. So 1981, what about 1981? I heard it was a good year. I did. I heard it was a good year. I did. Juneau, North Node Juneau. Are you trying to say you're from Alaska? I haven't been in my office very much the last couple of weeks because, I don't know, just haven't been in here very much. So I got a mess in my office. So I've been working on trying to get that squared away a little bit. So, Santos, hello, 5610. Santos is in the house. Good to see you. You guys all say hello to each other. If you have YouTube channels, let me know. And you can tell us about it. I got to make a note to call my pharmacy. Call Pharm C. Made my note. So I hope you guys are doing well. I do. Ken, how's the weather where you're at today? I mean, it's 98 degrees here, so we're not getting any relief yet from the weather. I was talking to some people down in Texas yesterday who apparently having a still heat wave, a drought and a heat wave. Big indexes. Got to go through my mail. One thing, I don't know, I'm going to recommend something to everybody. If you don't do this, I want to recommend that you do it. If you don't have a personal shredder at home, I want to encourage you to get a shredder for your house. And I want you to start shredding your documents. I've been doing it all my life. You know, because I used to, when I was working undercover as a top CIA agent, you know, they made us shred our documents all the time, so I'm kind of used to it. But get a cross-cut shredder, by the way. 83 with the humidity at 60%. Yeah, humidity is, our humidity is really low. No wonder my head hurts. You know what's weird is the lower the humidity for me, the worse my head is. I don't know, that maybe it's because the internal parts of my brain dry out. You know, maybe the sinus cavities dry out, the ear canals dry out, the brain fluid, which is very low as it is, dries out and dries up when the humidity goes low. That's why I suck on a wet rag a lot. No, I use a rag to dab my eyes, to keep my eyes moist. So, all right. I got to thank you all for being here, if I didn't do that already. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Some of you guys aren't doing any thumbs upping. You better get to it. You can't be on here unless you give us a thumbs up. You can't be on here unless you're going to make friends with everybody else. This is an automatic thumbs up, automatic make friends with each other program. Meme is back in the house. Yes, you are new here. You know why you are new here today? Because every day you wake up is a new day for you. I was first in the chat and the first thumbs up. You're the only thumbs up. Meme doesn't even like me anymore. You know, I hooked Meme up with a whole bunch of hot, sexy women and now he doesn't even like me. So, no, yes. Exactly. But I'm looking at the sand. See, I can't talk. I mean, there's something wrong in my brain. There just is. I mean, I know I have brain damage from the coma I was in, and I get that. But there's something else going on in my brain. So, but today, I am currently looking at the it's Halloween catalog for Sam's Club. Halloween already. Halloween. It's not even September the 1st, and they're pimping out Halloween stuff. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for subscribing to the channel, liking the channel, becoming members of the channel. Members get a special bonus of watching me be naked live sometimes. That's your bonus for being a member. So, Meme, how are you doing in your part of the world? Don't get me wrong. I really like you, pretty girl. Dave, thank you. I know. I get told that a lot. I do. The funny thing is, when I go through a drive-through, and of course, you know, what's really weird is we don't know how we sound, right? We don't. We have a... I don't know, I'm sure there's some scientific medical terms about the audio that we hear, that we speak, and it's totally different than what other people hear. You know, way I think my voice sounds is probably not the way it sounds to others. But I don't know how when I go through drive-throughs, they call me ma'am, you know. I don't think I sound that much like a girl. Show us your boobs. Show us the super chat. If you want to see the boobs, If you want to see some skin, you got to throw up some cash. I may be a cheap whore, but I'm not that cheap of a whore. You know, I'm not a $2 whore, I'm a $3 whore. You got to put up some money, honey. If you want to see these, you got to pay for them. Things that are worth seeing, or things that you want. What is that? No, don't tell me that's him. Shit, hope that's not him. Fuck. All right. The voice sounds pretty sexy over there. That's good. That's good. But yeah, you want to see the boobs? Stroke, give me some money. You know, I'm not ashamed to admit I'll do pretty much anything for money. But have we ever thought about that? About how you know, we probably all think we have this great speaking voice. You know, that our pronunciation is wonderful-ish, and people want to just hear us. I'm trying to make sure I'm not being stalked outside is what I'm trying to do. You know. I thought somebody was stalking me out my window. But I think it's interesting how we believe that. I think everybody thinks they have this great voice. You know, James Earl Jones type of voice. Show us the boobies. Only $2? That's, you know, my goodness, meme, you know, you take into correction for European money, then you take 30% off because you got to pay YouTube. That means you want to see my boobs for like 89 cents? You know, I may be a cheapy, but come on, man. 89 cents to see this? I don't know, man. But thank you for the super chat. Everybody say, thank God to me. New Meep, you ready to save the hood? You ready to save the hood? It's kind of a weird sentence, but I don't really have any hoods. I have a lot of hats. And I do save all of my hats, if that's what you mean. Half a boob, there you go. How about some scar tissue? There you go. You can see the scar tissue for your 89 cents. All you get is scar tissue. You know, pony up real money, you get to see the rest. Come on, save the, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Hood woman. Hood woman? I don't know if you're in America or you're from America, or if English is not your first language, which I'm happy that you're here, don't get me wrong, but you might either, if English isn't your first language, give us a larger sentence so we can understand the context. Don't talk shit, show boobies now. That won't save the hood woman. I don't know who hood woman is. I don't know who the hood woman is. Meep says, that's so typical white man don't know about hood. Okay, so you're hating on me because I'm a white guy? I don't hate on you for being stupid, not being able to write a sentence. I don't hate on Meme from being from Germany. You know, I don't hate on Henry for not being here the last few weeks because he's been sick. So we don't hate on anybody on this channel. If that is your forte, stick around and we'll make fun of you. Henry, how are you doing, buddy? How you been feeling these days? Any better? Please don't hate stupid guys and guys from Germany. That's right. We don't want to hate stupid people. We got to have empathy for stupid people. And we got to feel sympathy for people from Germany, the land of German. Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm going through the Sam cell and see if there's anything good. Mike and Venus is in the house. Michael Meme is trying to pay me 89 cents to show him my boobs. I demand better pay. Fair pay for boobs. If I was a good-looking woman, how much would you pay to see my boobs? I demand fair pay. Demand it. Equal pay. Under the law. I can't wait until you go to South Central and say, what is the hood? South Central High School? We have a South Central High School close to us. We have one of those. We are in Central Time. You know, I don't know where you're going, what boat you're trying to drive, or even if you have a boat to drive. I don't know. But hey, if it floats your boat, keep it up. So, and you just got shot. I just got shot? No. It was last week. Last week I had my shots. No. This week I'm going in for an MRI and I got those scheduled. Last week, I had to get some shots. I did. They had to take a lot of blood also, but I had to get some shots. 85 cents. Yes. Hell, I'll give you a whole dooler. Woohoo! Smoking. Gotta get them doolers. Doolers are rolling. Roll them doolers. Henry, I'm still hanging. I'm having a lot of vision issues along with my my malfunctioning brain. So let me try to read things because I am having some double vision a lot. I'm still helping to get around better, but honestly, I'm not doing good at all. So you're still needing help to get around better, or you're finally trying to get around better, but you're not doing great after all? All right. Well, we can all kind of relate to that, Henry. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Patrick's in the house. Guys all say hello. Jimmy's in the house. This is where our taxes go. Yeah, I don't know. Do you pay taxes? I mean, is that what you're trying to say, that you pay taxes or you don't pay taxes? I don't understand where you're going. But that's okay. We don't mind you. Showing a little hair today, I see. Yes. Well, Meme gave me 83 cents to show him some flesh. You know, he wanted the big guns, but he didn't get it. Pat, good to see you. Hello, Meme, good to see you. Patrick, yes. Mike and Venus is having a good day. How are you, Mike? What's going on with you? Bro. You are mentally ill. Aren't we all? Well, shit. Welcome to the human race, bro. The name is PAC. PAC, and I happen to be the leader of the PAC, is who I happen to be. But I happen to think we are all mentally ill. And if we can't say whole words like brother, then that probably means we have a vocabulary issue. Let me get where we're caught up. Pat says hello to Mike. Mike says hello. Everybody's saying hello back and forth. Our new Meep, is that kind of like a sheep or something? Saying he's actually not even smart enough to be a monkey. He's not even smart enough to be a monkey. Well, you know, don't be putting down monkeys. You know, monkeys are a very key factor in the ecosystem. So don't be bad-mouthing monkeys now. I'm just telling you. Wolf pack in the house. That's right, buddy. I'm a little ill, just not mentally. I'm a little bit mentally ill. Yes. Bro's as smart as a rock on the beach. Oh, I love going to the beach. You know, I don't really like the rocks on the beach, but I like going to the white sandy beaches that that are made up of like crushed seashells, like on Destin, Florida, places like that. Really pretty sandy beaches, and every once in a while you find a rock. But if you go over like the West Coast, the East Coast, the North Coast, you know, yeah, the sand's kind of dirty and beachy and not very nice. But I think it's cool. I mean, as long as you're happy with rocks on a beach, my friend, I'm happy for you. I think it's great that you like to play with your rocks on a beach. It's probably the only place you get your rocks played with. Just saying. Snoring up. Bro's so stupid he rubs his back on rainbows. Back on rainbows. I wonder if you could do that. I wonder how it would feel. You think that might be a really good way to do that. If you could rub your back up against a rainbow, and maybe if you got lucky, you could pick up the pot of gold while you were there. Man, that would be badass. Not only you getting your back scratched like that bear that you see up against a tree doing the dance, but you could get some gold for it. So you're getting your back scratched and you're making money. Woo-wee. Now you're going to go do a poker tournament tonight. Nice, nice. How much are you going to become the new Georgia State Poker Champion? Our good friend Galactic Gaming, or Rob, he plays over in Europe. And he does fairly well. I call him the European World Champion. So, are you doing that like at a casino? Or are you doing it illegally at somebody's house? Because is poker playing allowed in your state? I won't name your state because I don't want the feds to come down and get you. Get you. Or is gambling allowed in your state? It's only allowed in our state in certain, well, it's not at casinos. Do you have casinos there? So we have casinos not here. Henry says, well, I know some really smart rocks, so I don't know why you keep talking about the rocks on the beach. But rocks are really cool, to be honest. I got a lot of friends who are geologists. And, it's a cool science, believe it or not. It tells you the history of the planet. It's really cool. We do it legally. Yeah, gambling. Everybody said hello to Henry. Henry's not feeling well. Can't compare it to Galactic. I'm just a flunky monkey. There you go. Got the flunky monkey going down at the Pelican Bar. Bar poker, free to play. Okay. Yeah, I really didn't know how that would work. How you would do that. Yeah. Because, some states have looser gambling laws than other states. We do the lottery in this part of the world, but we don't have casinos here or anything. So, but poker's fun to play. I look forward to when we going on our cruise in October to playing poker. I do. I already got a budget. I haven't told my wife my budget yet. But she doesn't care, She doesn't play poker. She doesn't really like going to the casinos. But I've already got a budget set out for the October cruise. Thought I'd stop by. I got to go outside and work for a little bit. What kind of work are you doing outside, Patrick? It's 900 degrees out, so don't overdo it, Patrick. Make sure you don't overdo it. So, Jimmy, what game are you guys playing in poker land? What type of game are you playing? Bar off poker, give out prizes to the winners. Players come, eat, drink, and win. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. I do like to play cards. I don't play cards enough. To be honest, around me, one, I don't really like anybody. So that's part of the problem. But we don't have a lot of people that we like to play. No Limit, Texas Hold'em. At least somebody's going to hold Texas accountable. So Henry is in the house. Henry said he's not been feeling well lately. He's going to recuperate and become a superstar on the internet before he knows it. So, Jimmy, yes, from Omaha. Nobody's from Omaha. Not even Peyton Manning was from Omaha, and he used the word more than anybody else in the entire world. So, there you go. All right. Let's get going here. All right, so where were we? Texas no Hold'em. Woo-hoo! Pat's got to go do some real work for her life. Georgia Bully Doggies. Yes, he made it famous. He did. And now apparently one of his sons is in high school kicking ass. We are back, says Fishing with PAC, the leader of the world. Okay, gotta go. Thanks, David. See y'all later. Where you going, Jimmy? You gonna go play poker? Jimmy's gonna go play poker and have a good time in life while he leaves us here to bake in the sun. We know what Jimmy's gonna do. No, it was me. I jumped around intentionally. I wanted to test something. So that was me, but it should be fine now. I just needed to, I have an app on my phone that controls the AC unit here in the house. And what I've learned doing live streams like this, that if you are live streaming and if you go try to do anything else, it pauses your live stream, but you can come right back and it will pick back up. You just got to give it a second. But there's other things that you do that will totally knock out your live streams. So I got a little hot in here today and I forgot to turn the air conditioner down. So I wanted to turn it down. So, but Henry, what are you doing to get better? Get that caught up. There you go. What is Henry doing to get better? Yes. Ooh, look at that. Man, what a handsome young man I am. Where did our troll go? I missed our troll. What happened to our troll? Man, live streams aren't any fun without trolls. You know, all of you good guys are good, and, you know, I miss having trolls. But yeah, we got a few things done today. I got some doctor's appointments scheduled for the middle of September. I did indeed. And Lorelai went off to work complaining that it's hump day. So she's got to work. I got to go outside and get the trash can when it's not 900 degrees out today. So, but all is good in my world, I think. We are getting excited about the upcoming cruise. We made a decision about our cruise the other day. So we are, I think we're going to park the car in long-term parking. Man, it's hot. Why is it so hot in here? So instead of, we got some friends that would pick us up and take us to the airport and bring us back, right? But we got to be at the airport at 5 a.m. So I told Lorelai, and then of course our flight keeps getting changed. You know, last week it was supposed to be there at 5:30. This week it's 5. Our return flight home was scheduled at 11:15. Now it's 12:30. So it's kind of all over the place. Our ticket to Little Rock, Miami and back, right? Rodell's in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up and subscribing and sharing. So I decided we're just going to pay the long-term parking fee for the car. I checked it out the other day. There's only, I don't know, and this is my question to you guys. Does anybody know how much your parking fare is at your local airports? So here is going to run $8 a day for the cheap economy parking. Everybody said a hello to Rodell. Henry says, right now I'm in the house with the AC on and I'm sweating the air conditioner, but got to go back to the hospital tomorrow. Are you going back to the hospital to stay or going back for a checkup? Thank you, host, and subscribe to you. Shout out to you, sir. Thank you. And we will do the same shortly. I always like to wait and let things sink in so YouTube doesn't know that we're doing the sub for sub stuff. We don't like to do that. We want to truly make an impact on your channel and help you guys grow. So we, over the next couple of days, anybody who's new, we will do that. So parking has, well, that's what I'm asking. I mean, Our cheap economy parking here is $8 a day. So, and we're going to be gone for 7 days. So 7 times 8, which would fit, what, $56? So, but we got to be there at the crack of dawn, literally. So that, therefore, somebody doesn't got to take us. We don't know what time we're coming in for sure, so somebody doesn't got to wait up in the middle of the night to bring us home. And then I asked Lorelai, I said, I wonder how much it would cost to have a Grab take us. Because one thing I've learned is about, and we don't use taxis a lot, or Grabs or Ubers or whatever you want to call them. But one thing I've learned is the prices go up when it's weird. There's times during peak time that the prices go way up. But there's also times like at 5 a.m. here, there's maybe 1 or 2 cars available. And so they charge a lot of money. So I did the math a tiny bit from what I could research, and it would cost me more in Uber fees to Uber to the airport and then Uber home versus paying the $60 to park my car. Henry's got to say, I'm going to go stay a while in the hospital. So Henry, do they know what's wrong with you yet? Have they figured that out yet? Next month, I got to go and have my brain analyzed, my brain scanned, and my spine. There's something wrong with mine. There's something going on in my brain. So they're going to be doing a lot of tests coming up down the road here. So I'm with you there. Are you going to a full-on hospital, or are you going to like a care facility, rehab facility type place? So, but what was I going to do? I was going to forgot to do that. So when I was just kind of doing the numbers, I'm like, you know, if it's going to run me $60 to park the car for a week, and it would probably cost me $60 in Uber fees, and I don't know quite when I will or will not be home, you know, because you never know with the flights, right? And I wasn't absolutely for sure if I could get a taxi in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. in the morning. Because even though we live, you know, in one of the richest parts of the world, us poor people that live here, there's still no guarantee there's going to be a ride home. Nope, I'm going to go see a specialist. All right, nice. So I don't know what you guys think. And one thing I did learn the other day, and I didn't know this, is if you're apparently and I think this is a great thing. If you're apparently a disabled veteran, you can park in airports for free. Did you guys know this? I didn't know this, but a friend of mine told me the other day that when they go, we're just talking, and like, yeah, when we go, we just park for free because I have a disabled veterans tag. Right now, I can't figure out why my hands are not working and freezing all the time, and they don't know why. My legs are numb, and I can't support my weight when I'm trying to get up to walk. Well, that's a bummer. You know, it might be, you know, it sounds like maybe MS. You know, I know in the early diagnosis of MS, some of that sounds very familiar. Now, MS is very treatable and manageable. You get a new norm, right? I got family members that have MS, and once they adapt and get on the right medicines, you know, they can live a fairly normal life. They just, you know, it's just a different life. So, but all that, you know, might be something like that. Might be like MS. So, but I would think as much as you've been to the hospital lately in the last few months, that they would have been able to tell you that by now. You know, that they would have been able to figure out all the stuff you've been doing the last, 6 months, what's wrong with you? And I don't mean being a jerkhead, but look, if you got a whole group of doctors that can't figure out what's wrong with you, go see another group of doctors. Your tablet is malfunctioning. It's been going out due to the heat. Well, it's been hot here. I don't know how hot it's been down where you are, but it's been hot here. It really has. We've only had one day below 90 in the last 3 weeks. So 3.5 weeks. So it's been a little warm for us too. But, what are you going to do? But as somebody who was referred to the Mayo Clinic in the years past, who I had doctors go through this process of saying, look, we don't know what's wrong with you. We need to send you somewhere else to Cleveland Clinic. And then the Mayo Clinic was also. And when I started doing a lot of doctor hopping, I kind of figured out, well, look, I could go to the Mayo Clinic, be treated, be studied, have a lot of analytics done, but more than likely, nobody's going to figure out what's wrong with you. I mean, what I tell people, and I made a doctor mad last week because he was telling me, well, your brain issue could be this, it could be that, it could be that. And I said, it's okay. It's okay to admit that you don't know what's wrong. And it's okay to admit that you're never going to know what's wrong. And I told him, I said, the only reason I'm here is I want to find out if there's something structurally wrong that can be fixed. Otherwise, I'm not chasing the mythical dragon of good health. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to have you put on me a whole bunch of new regimen of drugs. I'm not going to have any of that. We're not going to be going to physical therapy. We're not going to be doing mental therapy. We're not doing all this other bullshit. There's a problem that can be solved, or there's not. One or the other. And so I am happy to go down the road that's going to help us make a determination whether there's something that's solvable, or once again, we're just back at that door of going, yeah, I really don't know what's wrong with you, but you know what? Maybe you could do some steroids. Maybe you could take some of this. You could take some of that. You could do a bit of that, a little bit of this. Rodell likes that and says, yes. So I've decided not to chase the mythical dragon of good health. I'm just not. I've been swapping doctors because the doctors here keep calling me an alcoholic. All right. And using that as an excuse for my problems. And I really don't drink anymore, just once in a while. Well, if you were, I think there's a difference between calling somebody an alcoholic versus saying alcohol problems, issues, or dependency has caused and I don't know all the medical terms anymore, called the protective coating around the nerve fibers to deteriorate and break down, which will never regenerate. So I think there's some logic to the bad things that alcohol can do to you. So if they're looking at it from that perspective, going, hey, your protective coating on your nerves and all of those things have been rotting away, that's one thing. If they're saying that you're currently drunk, but you're not, well, that's another issue too. And of course, I ran into a similar situation 25,000 years ago when I was a young man first diagnosed with lung issues. I have a lung disease called psoriasis, and it's not a good thing. It's just not. But I've had it. It's dormant. It finally went dormant. After being diagnosed, after about 4 or 5 years, it went dormant. And what it does, just to give you a short brief, is it causes, it's like an autoimmune deficiency disease that causes masses in your lungs, on your kidneys, eyes, gallbladder. Had to have that removed because there's a mass on it. So it puts these hard masses in your lungs. Now, when we first discovered this was because my gallbladder went out. And I came to the hospital, was being treated. Travel Girl is in the house. Yeah, we can give you a shout out, Travel Girl. Absolutely. I'll come and check your channel out real quick. So I went to the emergency room because of the gallbladder. They removed it. In the course of doing all their studying, they saw all of this stuff in my lungs. And they immediately went, well, you're a smoker and you have lung cancer. And I'm like, well, maybe I have lung cancer, but I'm not a smoker. I've never been a smoker. Never have been. Never ever smoked. And they accused me of lying. No, you're full of shit. You don't got to lie. Look, you're lung cancer. I'm like, well, we haven't been diagnosed with it yet. That's just our theory. Travel Lover 2.0 is Travel Girl. She looks like a young person, so everybody be aware of that. So 98 subscribers, 856 videos, but we will check your channel out later, young lady. But thank you for coming in and being here. Looks like she got to go to an aquarium and see a what do you call those? A jellyfish. She got to see a jellyfish. Looks like a very nice young person's channel. So there's your big shout out. Don't forget to shout us out too. So I thought that was funny, was their automatic assumption was that you're an alcoholic, you're a smoker, you're whatever. You know, here's what's wrong with you. And it's kind of like, it's guesswork. Medicine is guesswork. You just throw stuff against the wall and you see what sticks, is what you do. And I kept telling them, you know, look, and I'm in the hospital because they got to schedule my surgery for the gallbladder removal. And I keep, you know, and I'm like, look, I don't smoke. I don't know what's going on in here, but me no be smoker. And finally, my regular doctor, who was making his rounds, you know, because this was over the weekend. I didn't go see him. I went straight to the emergency room. He comes in. He sees me on the list. So he comes by and says, hey. I'm like, well, hey, you know. Like, oh, it looks like you have your gallbladder out. And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, hey, by the way, could you tell these idiots that I don't smoke? Because they think I have lung cancer because they think I'm a smoker. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, let me work on it. And I never heard the whole you're a smoker thing after that because I don't smoke. Rodell likes that and saying, yes, yes, yes. I'll check their channel out too. Let me pull their channel up while we're sitting here. Go to channel. Rodell has 1,666 subscribers, 730 videos. Oh, he's got some vegetables going on. He's got some vegetables going on. He does indeed. Looks like he knows how to grow some vegetables. Outstanding. I like vegetables. I lie. I don't like vegetables. I like to grow them. I just don't want to eat them. So Henry, don't get bogged down on what they think. You know, their assumptions, their assertions without evidence is all I can tell you. Is don't get too wrapped up into that, you know. But when later on, when they wanted me to go to the Mayo Clinic or the Cleveland Clinic, and I'm like, well, what are we going to do there? They're like, well, my doctors tell me, well, here's what they're going to do. They're going to do all of this, but haven't we just done all of that the last 5 years? Well, yeah. So what is going to be different? You know, and this is kind of where I'm at in my life now. If we can't make something different, then why are we going to do it again and again and again and again? That doesn't make any sense. So that's why with whatever's going on in my brain and neck, I want to find out if there's something structurally damaged, something that we can resolve an issue of. Other than that, it is what it is. Yeah. Henry said, yeah, that's one of the bad things about doctors. They never bother to go any further Right. They don't dig deeper. They go back to their root cause. My theory is this, and that's all they can do. It's kind of like law enforcement and attorneys. All of these people with higher advanced degrees get narrow-minded. Their focus in life gets narrow-minded. Police officer sees everybody as criminals. Doctors, they had a mentor, a teacher. They did their studying at a hospital that focused in on cancer, so everything is cancer. Lawyers know a little bit about this, so they focus, everything has to fall within the scope of that. And that's the sad thing about American medicine for sure. So I'm a big, gigantic fan of not buying into the hype of American medicine. I think it's okay to think outside the box. It's kind of like my new attitude. I told this guy, I said, look, if there's not structurally wrong, we're not doing a bunch of drugging. We're not just taking a bunch of shit to be taking a bunch of shit anymore. We're not doing that anymore. Well, now that could be, now Henry, I could be, but here's my question. All right, now I get the fact that they may say you might have a gene mutation due to, or a gene that makes you prone to alcoholism. I get that. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we have a gene that makes us prone to alcohol. And we know this happens because, I don't want to pick on Native Americans, but Native Americans have a gene that makes them prone to alcoholism. They just do. It's well studied, well documented. They have a gene. There's other cultures or races too. So maybe you happen to have the gene that makes you susceptible to becoming an alcoholic. Now, it doesn't mean that, or it doesn't just only mean that it's easy for you to become an alcoholic. It may mean that the alcohol that you have consumed has done damage in a way that alcohol would not do damage to me. So that's what you got to think about. So here's what my question would be. I would say, well, okay, doctor, let's play devil's advocate. Doctor, man, you want to keep talking about how I'm alcoholic. So what do we do from here? I don't drink now. I'm lucky to have a few drinks a year, whatever it may be. So I have a gene, you say, that's caused this. What do we do? What's the answer? Let's play devil's advocate and pretend that you're exactly right. I've been a raging alcoholic all my life, and a gene has made me a raging alcoholic. But as you can tell by checking my blood, there's no alcohol in my blood today. So if I never drink alcohol again today, what are we going to do? What can it be done? Rodell says, SWRD Road, yes. So, you know what I mean? That's what I was like. Like, fine, you're right, I'm wrong. I'm a full-blown alcoholic, great. What do we do from there? Do you have any answers? Because a lot of them are going to go, well, no, we really don't have an answer. We just wanted to point out the fact that we think you're an alcoholic. We just want to make sure it's clear that you did it to yourself and we can't fix you. Okay, great. You can't fix me. End of conversation. Time to move on to somebody else. And then you get on the happy-ass internet and you start searching worldwide and nationwide for the gene modification that you have and doctors who know anything about it. Other smart people in the world. Because remember, doctors have a very limited scope field of view. They can't know everything about everything. They just can't. They just can't. And so their shortcomings is they will not admit that they cannot fix something. Well, then I would have them write it down and get to the internet. And then I wouldn't go back and see them. I'd find somewhere else to go, some other place to go and see. Something else has to have somewhat information. Never take no for an answer. And so, and if they walk away without giving you an answer, just say, well, you know, so you can't give me an answer. You want to give me a diagnosis. You want to tell me what the problem is, but you have no answer. So why am I here? You know, let's find somebody that does. I got really lucky years ago when I was diagnosed with my lung disease. This is long before the heart failure. His name was Dr. Hardy. He was the leading pulmonologist in this part of the country. Really was. Now, this was back 35 years ago, or 30 years ago. Yeah. And he got to that point after a few years of going, look, you're way past my scope of knowledge. You just are. The only thing I can do, I can't fix you. There's nothing more I can do to give you. We can monitor year after year, year after year, year after year. You can go other places and get second and third opinions, which he highly recommended. And he's like, then we could all collaborate and try to figure out something. And I really like that about him. And I did. I switched to a different pulmonologist. And the pulmonologist there said, same thing. Nothing we can do. You're good. You're stable. You know, it is what it is. You know, what do you want to, I'm like, I don't want you to do anything. I'm just trying to see if there's a solution to the problem. But if you're not getting the answer that you want, you know, keep asking the question. Call Ken up and say, Ken, answer my question. Tell Patrick in Indiana, Patrick, you need to answer my question. What is wrong with me? How do I fix what's wrong with me? You just keep beating those bushes. Maybe since you're ex-military, you get into the Veterans Administration or you get out of the Veterans Administration. Maybe you send your file to the Cleveland Clinic and get a referral for the Cleveland Clinic, you know, or the Mayo Clinic, something like that. Whatever the most leading, you know, center is in Mississippi or Alabama. You're not far from Alabama. Tuscaloosa has a great medical center. So maybe you got to go and do that. I did that. You know, I at one time with the heart issue, they were confused and about some things. And I went over to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they got the largest, Tulsa has the largest heart center there is in Oklahoma. Supposed to be one of the best around back then. And I got nowhere, but at least I went. They didn't fix anything. They didn't tell me anything new. And they're like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, okie dokie. So that's what we got to try to do. We got to try to keep, if we want to get better. If we don't, then we just lay down and die. And that's okay too. I'm a big fan of giving up. I'm a big fan of saying enough is enough in life. Because I am a firm believer. Jimmy John is back in the house. My doctor once asked me, if you're feeling good after 3 or 4 drinks, why do you continue to 5, 6, and 7? I answered, Doc, have you heard of Hank Williams Jr.? I just lost the lyric. Come on, I know. I gotta pull that lyric up. I like to drink. Oh, what is the Hank Williams song? Oh, I gotta watch that now. Hang on, I gotta pull that up. I know the song. I listened to it as a kid. By the way, if you guys didn't know, Dolly Parton died yesterday. I think I'll just stay here and drink. That's it. Well, what else are you going to do, right? Stay and drink. Nothing wrong with that. You guys make sure you subscribe to Rodell's channel. Jimmy. Why do I? But I thought there was a more to that. Because you want the feeling to last longer. It lasts longer. And I don't know what the answer is. It's a oh, that's right, it was. It was a family tradition. Yeah. The other song was with Merle Haggard. He sang about, I think I'll just stay here and drink. There's also a song apparently about liquor to like her. And then there's another one where, I don't know, beer, whiskey, and wine or something like that. Oh, hang on. Hank, why do you drink? Hank, why do you roll smoke? Why you must live out the songs that you wrote? Over and over, it's a family tradition. There we go. All right. My doctor's pretty cool too. You know, I have a doctor, he's a couple years older than me, you know. Yeah, he's probably 4 years older than me. He's an old Navy guy and Navy doctor. He's really good. I like him a lot. And you can shoot the shit and bullshit with him and he doesn't get bent out of shape. When I question him and challenge him, it doesn't bother him. He makes notes. He's like me. He's like, ooh, good point. Let me write this shit down. No, you know, he's like, oh man, you know. Then when I go and see him again, he'll go, oh. You know, remember what we talked about, you know, 6 months ago? And I'm like, yeah. No. He's like, I found out this. I'm like, you crazy asshole. He didn't know Hank Williams, though. He's from yeah. That's funny. My lung doctor is actually Pakistani, and that's what's funny. Yeah. You know what's really bad, and this is kind of getting off topic a tiny bit. Well, here's what I think is funny about doctors. Now that I'm older, and I don't know if it's because I'm handsome and charming and all of that good shit, or I dress well, or I look like an asshole. I don't know what it is. But I think it's funny now. My wife gets a real kick out of this. Not in a good way. She gets a kick out of this. It's like the other day when I went to go see this physician assistant of the orthopedic person, because I thought there was something structurally wrong with my neck. And he asked me 3 times, where did I get my glasses? He's like, man, your glasses are just so cool. He's like, and I can't remember what shirt and hat I had on the other day, but he's like, you know, I dig your style, man. You know, and I'm like, I gave him my whole theory about being cool. And my wife is in there just rolling her eyes like, oh, shit, here we go again. You know? My regular GP doctor, same way, you know, is always commenting. You know, we go to Sam's Club, somebody mentions, hey, Mr. PAC, how are you? Good to see you. I love that shirt. My wife just rolls her eyes and goes, but every time we go to the doctor, see a new doctor, my lung doctor is where I go into this after I came out of the coma years ago, because I've had him for years now, but I came out of the coma and he said he was getting ready to go back to Pakistan on vacation, you know, and he's like, I can't remember, it was a hat I was wearing. He's like, I really like your hat. I want to buy one and wear it back home to Pakistan. Where can I get a hat like that? So I pull up the phone and show him an app where I bought it, like hats.com or somewhere like that. And my wife is just sitting there rolling her eyes like, oh, here we go again. So, I know for sure Lorelai does that a lot. She does, you know. She's like, but that's okay, right? David's very throwback. I am very throwback. Old school, young school, new school. I'm just about school. But I do think it's funny, the older we get, right? How we recognize things, and, you know, the biggest problem, and look, I'm going to tell you guys the secret, and I know my wife's not watching because she's busy at work and it's too early for her to be snooping in on us. I don't know why, but a lot of girls flirt with me now that I'm old. I don't know what it is. Now that I'm old, Maybe it's because I got better style in my 20s as I did in my teens, because I'm only 21. So I don't know, but it does not make her happy when we go to the doctor's office or we're at Sam's Club and we're standing together, and some little nurse girl or the front desk person is just all, oh, I love your hat. Oh my God, your glasses are so cool. Oh, I love your watch is so. Again, I know. Again, I just sit there. So a lot of times what I do when they're doing that, and I know they're just being nice to suck up to me to get my money, like the Philippines. And but a lot of times I'll, if Lorelai is here, this is Lorelai, I'll just be listening to the girl and I'll just gently go. Got to throw a little bit of smart ass in there. Hey, Grand, how are you? A beer is in the house. Good to see you. Nice having you here. Edit it, bro. 1278. Finally. Yes, how are you both? Thank you for liking the channel, subscribing, super chatting us, giving us a thumbs up today. It's the chest hair. Is that what it is? Remember, if you want to see more, all you got to do is throw some cash down. I may be a whore, but I'm not a cheap whore. Just keep that in mind. But it is fun to do, but it drives my wife crazy. My wife's crazy. Because, my wife is definitely prettier than I am, right? There's no question. She looks better than I do. But I tell her, because she thinks every guy in the world flirts with her, but nobody flirts with my wife, at least when I'm with them. Because I'm afraid when they look at her, they look at me and go, oh shit, he will kill me. He will stab me in the eye with his ink pen. Yeah. But my wife looks so nice and pleasant and personable that nobody's going to feel threatened by her. So, edit it, bro. No, this is both my wife's channel and myself. It's my wife is the profile picture, but it's both of ours channels. In a few months, I might switch it to put my dog on there, or I may put a solo picture of myself. Every 4 to 5 months, I rotate pictures. So it just so happens that this is the quarter that my wife is on display. And there is some logic to it. She's prettier than I am. So let me ask you a real question since you brought that up. If you saw my picture, would you have stopped and came into the live stream? Or is it only because you saw a pretty girl on the internet that you went, oh, let me see if I can see some skin. You want some skin? Give some super chatting. We do some skinning. So, ain't that right, Jimmy? Jimmy knows what I'm meaning. Meaning, Jimmy. So, but, it is what it is. The older we get, the smarter we get, I guess, I think. Or maybe it's the fact that we don't care. How many of you guys have realized as we age, we don't really give a rat's ass? We're not wrapped up into whether we hurt people's feelings or people are offended by us too much. You kind of just do your thing, right? You're okay with who you are. When people are not trying to impress is when they're most impressive. You like that? Like I said that? So that's one thing to keep in mind. But I got to be really careful with the wife, especially if they're like when we go on the cruise ship here in a few months. She hates the other Filipinas talking to me. She can't stand that. She's intimidated by that, I think. I don't know. She doesn't like it when they speak to me. So I got to avoid them at all costs on the cruise ship. So, but Henry is trying to get back to the doctors, so that's good. I'm going to go to the doctors myself. We all got to go to the doctor. Sad day in the world. We did see Dolly Parton passed away yesterday. I saw where, man, it's amazing. One thing I'll say that came out of the whole Dolly Parton thing passing away yesterday was, I am shocked. Well, I don't know, maybe I'm not shocked, but it still surprises me sometimes how much people hate the President of the United States, our current President of the United States, Donald Trump. I was shocked at a time when people would want to glorify and remember her as an entertainer and a singer-songwriter and a good humanitarian and all of that, that they have to take this poor lady's death, who's 80 years old, and apparently Donald's 80 years old too. Tim Curry died today. I saw that. There was also somebody else who died today. I saw somebody else passed away today too. So, but I was shocked yesterday to how the Democrats, since they hate him so much, they were all saying, oh my God, the wrong white 80-year-old died today. And there for a couple of minutes, I had to figure, I did. Maybe I'm just stupid. But I had to go, the wrong 80-year-old died? What? I don't know what, and I really didn't. I didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. Then they started going on, well, the wrong 80-year-old, white 80-year-old with the letter D in his name, didn't get to die today, and I'm like, oh. So they're taking a situation who by all accounts was a decent human being, and trying to drag him down. I don't get that part. I don't. Now, if you want to just say, gee, today would have been a good day for him to die, well, whatever. Who gives a shit what you think? But I don't get that. I didn't understand that. How they could make a 2 and 2. One, she's a woman. She's an entertainer. I mean, it just, I don't know. Tim Curry died. I saw the other day where one of the ones people who died this month, I was looking this up. Because the one of the actors that died this month that surprised me was the guy from Sopranos. I got to pull up his name. What was his name? Man, a lot of people died today, apparently, or yesterday. And Tim Curry was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Do you guys remember that? Did any of you guys ever go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show? We did. I know. I tried to explain it it was on TV one time. And I tried to get my wife to, and she couldn't watch it, which I get it. It's totally a different age and different culture, everything. But I showed her and said, yeah, this is something that we used to go to, when I was your age. And it was a blast. Rocky Horror Picture Show was one of the greatest spectacles there was, And, and I don't think young people get it today's world. I don't think young people can appreciate the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's okay. It is. It's okay that people will be that way. But here's the other thing I noticed. Jimmy, what I noticed was every one of them hoping for the president to die were fat, ugly people. Fat, ugly people. Fat, ugly people. You would think they would want everybody to live. Or maybe if enough people die, then they're not fat and ugly. I don't know what their logic is. Yes, several times Rocky Horror Picture Show. I loved it. I thought it was a blast. I told the wife, yo, you don't understand. We should go in there and drink and raise hell and scream and sing along and then go have fun after the movie with the young ladies. So let's see. But who was the guy from Sopranos that passed away this month? Where is he at? I guess he's not that popular anymore. I think he played Pussy. Oh, Vincent Pasteur. He played Big Pussy in The Sopranos. Man, that was a hell of a television show if you didn't get to ever watch it. Jimmy says, I was in the restaurant working. I didn't have time to go watch a movie, smoking dope, drinking beer, hanging out with chicks. I was working a real job. I had a real life, you know. Wait, wasn't go watch RHPS at midnight a popular thing once upon a time? Yeah, it was a big deal. No, that's what I mean. We used to go watch it at midnight, the midnight showing. Everybody would, well, we didn't dress up in costumes, but a lot of people would come into costumes and bring a lot of, I mean, the theaters would be filled full of dope, you know, and rolling smoke and the music and the booze and the bottles rolling down, you know, the glass breaking and, you know. So yeah, it's a big deal. That's what I mean. I never saw it during the daytime. I always saw it at midnight after we got off work with a whole group of people. We take 20 people, 30 people, the theater would be packed. Coming soon. What? The translation changed his name? Did it? You're talking about, what's his face? Vincent Pastore, named as Big Pussy. He was found dead in his home in New York on the 1st of August. I really liked him. I thought he was good. I like the fact that he said when he was getting ready to be killed, not in the face. Not in the face. Like it would matter. You're going to be dead. Why not get shot in the face? And then the sharks are going to eat you. So what does it matter? You'll give up? Yes. Hover the mouse over the comment. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Why does it do that, Ken? That's it. Why does it do that? What's that all about, Ken? Is that what that little icon means? You know, that little thing coming on the outside of it before the word? Does that mean like a translation or something? I've never really seen that before, I don't guess. Jimmy said, yeah, I remember that, seeing that crowd when we'd go clubbing after work. Man, you missed a hell of a party, I'm telling you. And the women were easy then. I would never go in a costume for anything. Oh, except for my wife makes me go to the damn Halloween shit in a costume. I would not. I would not go in costume. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't do it. I am not that. Ken says, hang on. It's a setting in YouTube called, well, they won't even tell me what it's called now. It's called translation, YouTube translation. Oh, it's supposed to be a picnic table? Well, I hate to tell you, if that's a picnic table, it's broken. That's not a very good picnic table. I wonder why it does that. I wonder why it does that. Can you turn it off and turn it on or something? Meme is back in the house saying he's going to super chat $500 if I take my shirt off. Outstanding. No ballerina costume. I do have, my wife is making me dress up as Mark Anthony for Halloween. We are not hosting the Halloween party this year. We're going to be on the cruise ship until the week before. So we're not doing a big Halloween party, but apparently we have one that we're going to. No, I call it that. All right, just asking, testing it now, working on that for you. All right, give me an answer, Ken. Damn it. You know, you better come up with a good answer, not some damn interpretation AI version. But I'm just saying, if that's a picnic table, it's kind of like a broken picnic table. But, I don't know. Meme. Do you know what the Rocky Horror Picture Show was? Was that something in Europe? You guys ever, well, you're too young for that anyway. I wonder if that was popular in other parts of the world. I know it wasn't in the Philippines, because when I showed my wife Lorelai, she was like, what the God's creation is this shit? And I'm like, which is really funny. Which is really funny. Because they have more transvestites in the Philippines than anywhere, right? The singing and the dancing and the carry on. You know, that lady, I can't remember, Lady Grande or whatever her name was that we went to in Oklahoma. That Filipino star on Star, whatever it is, on Philippine television. You know, I can't remember what her name is. But I thought that was funny. My wife was like, what in the hell is this? And I'm sitting there going, but you don't have a, you know, you don't see an issue with the number one star in the Philippines being just like that. Sure, I know what you mean. All right, all right. No AI stuff. I am currently setting up on my phone. AI, oh, that hurts. I'm too young. Come on, yes. You're too young, little Dave. Yes, I am young. I'm only 21 years of age. This year I turned 21 and a half. So I've decided to have half birthdays every year. So, but what is that lady in the Philippines known as? I know Ken knows because Ken probably follows her. What is her name? Philippine TV Showtime. Showtime star. Vice Gandhi. Vice Gandhi is their drag queen in the Philippines. She was in Oklahoma. She was in America last year, I think it was, or the year before. She came to America and did a bunch of shows, but she also came here so she could get married. Show some boobs, young Dave. You didn't give me enough money, man. You know, I may be a cheapie, but I'm not that cheap. I'm not MJ. MJ will show his boobs off, and he won't even charge you. I have some dignity. If you want to see my boobs, you got to pay me. You know, MJ will give them out freely. You know, he's like a hoochie mama of YouTuber. You know, he's probably in the background listening to me going, well, that's not very nice of him to say. Show us your tips, guys. Tips, tips, tips. Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool how the AI thing rewrote their translation. Now, Ken, now this kind of makes sense. If Meme is throwing out his fancy German words, but AI translates it in English, I think that's kind of cool. Does anybody else know any foreign languages? Well, I know, but that's what I was going to say, Meme, but they got it wrong. It wasn't tips. But they're going to PG it, right? You know, yeah. But I thought it was interesting. Yeah, oh my goulash, yeah. Oh my vegetables, yes. But take your damn vegetables and put them where the sun doesn't shine. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if I like that or not. We'll have to take a poll on the internet and find out if we approve of this or not. Sands is in the house. My place is night, your country day is day. So my daytime is your nighttime. Is that what you're referencing? Thank you for being here. Sands, we appreciate you. We love it when everybody comes here during their nighttime and my daytime or vice versa. We're just happy that you're here. How are you and how are things where you're from? So here's the deal. I hate those words. I hate it when a police officer says, so here's the deal. No, there ain't no deal, you piece of shit. You go stand in the corner until I talk to you. All right. Let me get caught up here. Hold on, everybody. Here's the deal. It appears that on the phone, you cannot turn it off. However, you can turn it off on the PC. Okay, I'm on the PC. I'm watching on the PC, but I'm on my phone. No, just tips. I want to see the whole thing. Yes, give me the whole thing, not the tips. Can AI translate that? I don't know what AI can translate anything. Sand says, you are a sexy man. Please contact me. Well, all right, I'll consider it, but I have some rules. One, I am a sexy man. I understand. I get it. It's hard to be humble sometimes. Two, if you really want me to contact you, then you have to give us a super chat. Okay? That's the only way it happens. Once you super chat me, then I'll be happy to consider contacting you. And then you won't be disappointed, I promise. I'll give you the whole 9 yards. Now, having checked the phone, I will go do that and chat GPT check. All right. Right, your live is from the phone. Yeah, I'm live streaming from the phone. I'm just watching the chat on the television. I'm in the monitor because it's easier for me to read. It's easier for me. But YouTube has been making some improvements on things. They have. There's some things that I've noticed. They got some better video editing software for shorts on your phone and on the desktop. You can change the thumbnail on your desktop now for your shorts. You don't try to get my sexy man. That's right. You got competition here, meme. Well, I can't. You got to super chat. I'm not allowed to have Instagram. I'm not allowed. You got to just super chat it right here on YouTube. That's the only way. That's how it works. That's the rule. Yes, I know I'm a cutie. I am from Pakistan. Is where I'm from. What are you doing? I am talking to you. He's mine and only mine, period. That's right, you know. I'm not going to wear a pineapple upside down shirt on the cruise ship, by the way, if anybody's thinking of that. There's a funny video on YouTube about that. Josh is in the house saying hello, Josh. Josh, good to see you. There's a funny little short video on YouTube about the upside down pineapple. So let's pretend this isn't a pineapple. And this is a really funny video. And there's a dude shopping at the store with he's got his pineapple, and this really hot, sexy, beautiful blonde chick walks by, and he shows her the pineapple and does this. And she looks at him and goes, ew, and walks off. And then as you pan over here, there's this 500-pound oldie woman going, Josh, everybody say hello to Josh. Your dinner, breakfast, and lunch has gone. No, it's only not even 5 o'clock here. So I'll have dinner later on today. I'll have dinner later. And I don't know what I'm having for dinner. Yeah. Upside down means a swinging. Swinging. Just a swinging. Just a swinging. I saw Charlotte Johnson sitting on the swing. Just a swinging. Just a swinging. So yeah, you don't want to wear your upside down pineapple shirt on the cruise because this one apparently has upside down pineapples. Maybe that's why all the girls flirt with me when I go to the doctor's office is because I'm wearing this. Is that what it could be? I don't know what I'm having for dinner, to be honest. I have no clue. You know, maybe some fish. Josh, what are you going to have for dinner? What is Meme having for breakfast? But yep, no upside down pineapples on the board on the cruise ships anymore. They're banned. They're banned forever. Which is really funny because, you know, the pineapple is a universal symbol for hospitality. So I don't know how it went from being a universal symbol of hospitality to being an upside down version of swinging. Chicken for dinner. My wife, I'm sitting fish for home with, or to work with my wife. Yeah, I see live chat on my phone. Yeah, I see live chat. Yeah. Josh is going to have a sandwich. I like sandwiches. If so, do you see a setting gear icon? Yes, I see it. Yes, I like chicken. I do, Meme. I like that. I'll take it. You can ship me one from Germany if you will. Click the setting. All right. I'll click the setting. Automatic translation. I see it. Translate chat messages to your device language. All right. So you can turn that off and turn it on. That's cool. I didn't know that. You want me to turn it off? But maybe I want to keep it on. Maybe I like being turned on, Ken. Yeah, I see that. That is pretty cool. Now, one thing I've changed, one thing that I'm getting in a better habit of, when I do live streams, I no longer have it automatically make me a short video. That's irritated me. I've got hundreds of videos, little shorts, that are coming from live streams that I don't use, I don't want. So I'm wasting space. So I'm not collecting, I'm not letting YouTube make me a short anymore off of a live stream. What is chicken? I don't know. It sounds like chicken and cheese to me, like a chicken cheese sandwich. Yep, just tested it as well. Your channel rules, that's it. Hey, kid. Franceschi, hun, do you like Horn Ninja freaking cheese? Did I pronounce that in German well? I like anything, man. Get caught up here. Yeah, the whole thing, making a short video out of my live streams has just gotten to the point it just pisses me off and irritates me. So I've totally turned that off. So it's a traditional German dish, like I said, chicken dish. Creamy chicken with mushrooms. I made that the other day. But you know what? I made it American style. Chicken and mushrooms. All right. Hey, Ken, Josh says, do you have stuff like that in the Holy Land? We do. I made it yesterday, last week. I actually made chicken fettuccine. It's kind of what we call fettuccine, except ours is better. Jimmy says, woohoo. And says, check my channel. I got testing the live settings on my phone. Well, mine's turned on, so, and I guess it's working. So mine's working on my phone too, Ken. They got a double smash cheeseburger at poker tonight for 11 bucks. I'll go for that. Now, this is what I don't understand. All right. What is a smash burger? Does anybody know? What is a smash burger? They smash the burger. I don't get it. Just make a thinner patty. I mean, I don't get it. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand it. I don't, but you know, why would you want a smash patty? I mean, you know, Jimmy, are they better than non-smashed patties? Because isn't beef, 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 beef? You know, I mean, just get a single cheeseburger. Wouldn't that be the exact same thing as the double smash burger for $11? And I don't know if $11 is good or not. Are you getting any French fries with that? Like Red Ribbon or Red Robin French fries? Try some of that and see how that goes. I mean, I like a good hamburger, don't get me wrong. I don't know. So they flatten the patty out. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's kind of like, you know, okay. You know, comes with fries or now onion rings. I gotta admit, I'm a big onion ring fan. I've been eyeballing the onion rings at Sam's Club, but they want $26 for 10 pounds of onion rings. Now, that's kind of expensive, but I don't know. I keep going back and forth. I might have to buy me a 10-pound box of onion rings because I like onion rings. And I like good onion rings. So, and because I really like hush puppies. So, and I like good hush puppies. But I'm not a big French fry person. Do you get a drink with the 11 bucks? Yeah, we used to go to Shake and Bake or Shake, what is it? Steak and Shake. I thought it was Shake and Bake. Or that's chicken. Yeah, there you go. You can charge $1 more if you call it smashed. It's kind of like flame crisp, pan seared, flame grilled. Hello. If you're cooking the damn thing on the grill, isn't it flame grilled anyway? So just putting the word flame grilled makes it worth more money? Come on now. We're not that dumb. We're not that dumb. We're not falling for that every day of the week. We get it. We understand what's going on in the marketing world. I think my hat's too hot for me today. But then again, if you advertise yourself as a $2 hooker and versus a $5 hooker, which do you think is better, the $2 or the $5? If a $5 hamburger has to be better than a $2 hamburger, right? Whatever happened to quarter hamburgers and taco night for $1? Now I think you can only get a taco for like $20 a taco. Crock of shit burger and they didn't go for it? Yeah, $5 more. Hey, there you go. Call it the rocket burger. Remember those? Or the Hawaiian burger. They throw a 10-cent piece of pineapple on top of a hamburger and call it a Hawaiian burger. Come on. Get real, people. That's not right. It's not a good way to be, everybody. Well, that's good, though. At least you'll get dinner tonight. I don't know what I'm going to have, and I'll probably just have some beans and a piece of fish or something. That's all I know I'm going to have. So. Boxing Championship, $2 hookers, one $5 hooker. What? You can get two $2 for one $5. Yeah, 2 for $5, right? And you get it. Well, $2 each. It gives you, maybe you get 2.5 for $5. Maybe you get to have a half a woman, or you get a man. Maybe for $5 you get 2 girls and 1 man. I'm just saying. Rick, good to see you, my friend. How is your day at work going? Are you home now? Hope you're doing well. Thank you all for being here and thumbs upping. Yeah, I don't know. Eating out is really weird these days. We don't eat out that much anymore at all. We just don't. One, I think it's overpriced. 2, I hate the tipping situation. And it just, I don't know, just not that impressive. What a deal. What a deal. Or, instead of getting 2 girls, 1 male, maybe for $5, you get 2 men and 1 girl. Because I know some of you guys that like to go to Thailand and visit the Ladyboy Avenue would probably prefer that. So there you go. Maybe that's the Ladyboy deal. You never know. Gotta have them ladyboys out there hustling and making that money. Gotta make the world go around. Yeah, I don't know there's any good deals in food anymore. I mean, we don't eat out that much. We go through fast food once in a while, but it's always gross. And did you guys see and I bitched about this 8 months ago, and nobody cared, but now somebody else made a video about it, and somehow they're some gigantic hero. So, McDonald's used to have a fish fillet. They still do. But let's pretend that this was the size of the fish fillet patty. And you paid, what, $7 for it? Now the fish fillet patty is this big, and you're still paying $7 for it. Cheap bastards. All right, gotta go get smashed now. Woo-hoo. Are you gonna get smashed, or are you going to go do the smash in? See you later, buddy. Have fun. win some money, some door prizes, flirt with the girls. If they're ugly, don't flirt with them. If they're ugly, tell them you know a guy named Ken. If they're good looking, then you can take their numbers. But if they're ugly, give them Ken's number. Ken won't mind. Rick, how was your day at work? It was good, you said? All right, outstanding, outstanding. Today's Wednesday in my world. It's still 97 degrees. They did. And I like pollock. The fish is called pollock, and it's minced, but I really like their patty. It's just now, yeah. It's kind of like, I wonder if Temu used to be Wish. Remember when you'd go on Wish and buy something, you'd buy like a couch, and it would come in the size of this remote control, you know? So maybe that's the new Temu. But in all fairness, I've bought a lot of clothes, or my wife has, off of Temu. And their clothing is pretty good. Their kitchen gadgets are garbage. Cheap plastic, crappy garbage. But their clothes are the same clothes that Nike and everybody else sells without the brand on it. Because we bought some sweatshirts there. We got them home, and I looked at my Nike sweatshirt and that new sweatshirt from Temu, and I went, it's the exact same shirt, exact same stitching, material, cut, fit, everything. It just didn't have the Nike logo on it. E-Boxing Champion says, you know what, man, I've come to realize that fast food is garbage. Oh, yeah, man. It's crazy expensive. I've been slamming chicken and rice for years. I don't like rice, I gotta admit. We eat a lot of chicken. We do cooking here at the house. We don't eat out as much, but I would eat healthier if somebody else would cook it. If I got to prepare it, man, I don't want to put a lot of work into it. So, but we eat a lot of chicken and fish. Now, a lot of it's battered, and we eat a lot of, John Taylor's in the house saying hello. Everybody say hello to John. Good evening, sir. How are you? But we're trying to get more, you know, I believe, because I read the books by whatever his name is, I can't remember his name now, by the doctor guy. I think the key is to eating like your ancestors did. How did you know what I sound like? Are you watching me through the phone? I am. Hey, you missed the part of the live stream earlier when I told you guys I was in the CIA once. I was in the secret SIA, or the CIA, whatever it's called. I was in one of those sub-secret top agencies that sneak on people. Yeah, you forgot. You weren't here for that. I was trying to sound like Randy the Macho Man Savage, but my Randy the Macho Man Savage is not very good anymore. So, John says hello. Everybody says hello to John. But yeah, you know, my wife, she's from the Philippines, as you guys know. She used to eat a lot of rice, but she probably only eats now 1 or 2 cups of rice a month, which I'm really happy about. Because we throw away a lot of rice, and I don't like white rice. I like fried rice, and I like, you know, rice and broccoli and casseroles and soups, but I don't like to eat plain, boring white rice. I think it's like eating glue, you know. You guys remember when you were little kids in elementary school and all you had to eat was the neighbor's glue? That's what rice makes me think of. Is, you know, because I remember as a young man, I would sneak over to my neighbor in elementary school, get their Elmer's glue out and eat it because they had no food to eat for lunch. Makes me think of rice. But I did make some bread, homemade bread the other day. I made some honey oat bread, low sugar, low salt, and it definitely could use a little more sugar and a little bit more salt. But I made some. Next time I'm going to be making some traditional bread, but I'm going to put some honey and make it more honey butter, but more traditional bread. Homemade bread, of course. Because we've gotten on this kick of not buying bread at Walmart. So, and since we don't have a good bakery that I can just pull up that makes it fresh here, I got to make my own bread. Gotta make my own bread. I wish I could make my own cash. You know, maybe I need to get my HP printer printing and seeing what it can do to make some money. Yeah, we one thing I've been eating a lot of, well, what we do every morning, or my wife gets up, we make homemade waffles with fresh fruit. And it's not sugar fruit. It's the fruit, we get it at Sam's. They come in big bags, and all it is frozen fruit. Flash frozen fruit, period. It's blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and things, and then a tropical blend in addition. So every morning, she gets a waffle with berries in it, and then she gets 4 sausage links and 2 eggs. But one thing I like is I like taking that fruit, and I'll do that tonight because I got some taken out. And I like putting a little bit of Greek yogurt with my frozen fruit from Sam's Club after it's unthawed and eating it like that. There's no sugar in it. So I like that. I'm really happy with that one. I think it's good. It makes me happy. It makes me happy, happy, happy. And my dog Lily likes yogurt very much. So what I don't eat, she will eat. And she loves fruit. Oh, I got to finish making her dog food too. That's one thing I got to do this week. I got to maybe do that tomorrow. I got to make her dog food. Ken says, I updated the translator app on the phone. Wow. I didn't have to do anything. Mine came with it, Ken. What kind of phone do you have? Do you not have one of the good phones? Did you have to go out there and upload something? Mine, I just hit that little button and saw it right there. I didn't have to do anything. What's wrong with your phone, Ken? Come on, Ken. Come on, man. I thought you were into the IT stuff. But you can't make your phone translate without doing something hard and complicated? Mine just said it right there. Man, see? Yeah, I don't think, no, not updated. I have the news on it. Okay. All right, have it your way. Have it your way. Isn't that McDonald's, Burger King? Have it your ways. No, forgot what I was going to say. Yes, I would agree with you, and we do that. We have organic honey. Obviously, if it's real honey, it's organic. But we have real honey, not artificial stuff. And but I just like the fruit and Greek yogurt. I like it. I like the tanginess of it because the fruit we get have no added sugar. It's literally just flash frozen fruit. McBurger, Burger King, have it your way is Booger King. Gotta get the booger at Burger King. Jimmy's having a smash burger tonight. I wanna get your opinion on this. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. What does it mean if you say, I'm gonna get smashed tonight? Or does it have a different meaning saying, I smashed that tonight? Different words? Different meaning? Wait a minute, hang on. You can turn it off and on, but it only affects those watching on a phone, not the laptop or PC, etc. Well, let me dig into that a little bit, Ken. It's working on my desktop. And the desktop I'm watching is not logged in as PAC. It's logged in as, I think, my cruising channel. So that way I can have both running and it's easy for me to keep up with. So are you saying I shouldn't be able to see that? Under my fishing channel, should just, what are you saying? I think it means getting drunk or getting a ladyboy. Well, Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, it used to mean getting smashed means you went out and got hammered, right? You got drunk and got intoxicated. But if you're going to smash something, now I think that just means having sex with anything. It could be your trash can, as far as I know. But now they've translated those, getting drunk and having sex, into a hamburger. You know? That's why it costs more, Jimmy says. You know, because not only are you getting drunk, you're getting laid and you're getting a hamburger all at the same damn time. So, well, Meme could see, when Meme was watching the chat earlier, he could see that his stuff was being translated. He could see it. But I can see every translation. We're going to have to dig into that, Ken. Because that's interesting. Thank you all for being here, by the way. I do appreciate it. So that's interesting because I can see all the... On my phone, it was being turned off and on, but never did change on the computer. I was searching from a niche account. So you're saying on the phone, let me clarify. On your phone, you can turn it on or off, but not on a PC. If that's what you understand, I get it. Now that makes sense because I don't know if I have a settings button on my desktop where I can turn that off or on or make adjustments. Okay, that makes sense. That part I get. Joseph's back in the house saying, I am back. I just got done being naked. Now I am back. Big John says, hello, I am back in the house again. So now that makes sense. Yeah, because I can see the translation on both. What you're saying is I can only turn it off or turn it on the phone, I think is what you're meaning. All right, I'm going to turn it off. Let's do an experiment. I turned it off. I turned it off on my iPhone. I believe that is correct. All right. Well, let's find out. See if anything comes up. I know I'm looking up at the last chat you did, and it didn't change that. It still affected the earlier chat, the earlier comment. But you are correct. On my phone, it did not translate, and on my PC, it did not translate. All right. So I would agree. Now that it's been turned off on my phone, it's turned it off, period, for everybody, for everything. The only way to turn it back on is on my phone. Right? Right. Mine works. All right, yeah. Yeah, all right. That's interesting. I don't know what it, to be honest, what it does for us. Does it do anything for us? I mean, is it a usable tool? Is it something to be used? I guess so. I don't know. I don't know if it's usable or not. If it's, I do like the fact that on your desktop, if you're making a short, you can change your thumbnail now. Before, I would have to go and upload a short off my PC, then I would have to go back to my phone and change the thumbnail. But now you can do that on your PC. No, it does nothing like Schultz. Nothing? Yeah, not really. I mean, if you had a lot of people from different countries, I guess it'd be all right. But then again, if AI interprets it wrong, then don't you still got the wrong message? So if somebody's coming in and they can't pronounce or spell English words correctly, or their word, how accurate is the translation going to be? Like nipples to nips and tips and all of that, how accurate is it really going to be? Especially since they want to GP it, make it GP? Yeah. PG. No, not GP, PG. PG, right? So since we got to make everything so sanitized, they're not going to give accurate translations on a lot of things, I would think. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if you were... Well, here's the real question. So what if you're Chinese and it's your live stream and you're in Chinese, right? Your stream is in Chinese. And I came in, would it translate my English to Chinese? Because we're just assuming that, since America is the greatest country in the world and English is the only language in the entire world, that everybody else will be forced to adapt to us and be like us. So that might be good if we went to, as an English speaker. But now here's a secondary question about that, because here's what I would like. What would be useful is if we went to somebody who a Japanese channel, or hell, a Canadian channel. But if we're visiting a live stream that is in Japanese, would the AI not only translate what I said to the Japanese person, would it reverse translate what the chat is saying to me? So if all the other words in Japanese are out there, would it do a reverse interpretation for me? The other thing that I would like, as a visitor who likes to go to foreign channels and learn things about foreign countries, is I would like to be able to listen to somebody's live stream in Japanese and understand what they're talking about. I really would. India, Japan, China, Canada, I'd really like to know what in the hell they're saying. I think it'd be really good. So does it do any of that, Ken? Or is it just, like this? So, and that would be something that I might even consider paying for as an add-on if it allowed me, if it had a decent accuracy, maybe 90% accuracy, where I could go to somebody's channel in Japan and understand what was going on their channel. That would be something I'd consider paying for. I really would. Maybe, $10 a month or $120 a year or something. I would really consider that. No idea, but that'd be great. Yes, Josh says, yes, I would like to have $1,000 million. All right. I would like to have $1. I'd like to have any money. I just need 500,000. My YouTube goal is to try to raise $500,000. It used to be 5 million, but nobody gave me any money. So I took my licking, I took my beating, and I decided to lower my goal to just $500,000, 500,000. But I'll take anything at this point in time so that we can retire in comfort. All I really, $500,000, and I talk to a lot of people about this because I know a lot of us talk about money and finance. And I think it's an interesting thing how the different perspectives we have. But for most of us, $500,000 clean, meaning $500,000, not 500,000 that we got to pay 250,000 to the government for. A clean 500 million we could all live on for the rest of our lives and do okay. One, you buy the house, you invest the rest of it, you earn some revenue coming from it every month. So you could do that, and we could do that on $500,000. So if anybody would give me $500,000, I tell you what I would do. I'm going to make this deal with you right here, right now. If you give me clear $500,000, I will give you in return $150 cash. no taxes, a full $150 for giving me $500,000 clean. I would do it. Once the check clears and the money's in the bank, yours will be right back to you. Just keep that in mind if anybody's needing $150. I can do that for you. I would do it for you. I would. I know it's very generous of me, but I want everybody to do well in life, and that is just something that I would do for all of you, kind, wonderful, outstanding young people. But we all need money. We do. Whether we admit it or not, money makes the world go around. With all money, things are possible. I don't know if happiness, I will say this. I don't believe that money will make you happy. It can eliminate a whole line of stress, but it may also bring in a whole new line of stresses. So if you all of a sudden became wealthy, how many friends and family members that you haven't spoke to in 30 years would be calling you up and going, Josh, my friend, Josh, brother, oh sister, brother, kind member, my greatest and great nephew I haven't seen in 255 years. How are you, my dear friend? You know what I mean? So if you're going to do that, you have to be willing to be an asshole. You have to be willing to say, who? Who are you? Sorry, I had no relatives that lived the fire. You know, I had no relatives that made it past the 60s. I had no relatives that made it past the 80s. Sorry, it can't be me. You know, you have to be willing to do that. But for the most of us, and I would imagine most of us would agree, $500,000 is a life-changing amount. I had somebody a couple of years ago made a profit on a piece of property that netted them roughly $480,000. $480,000 profit. And that's after paying their capital gains tax. And I had to tell them, you got lucky, because I want you to understand how hard it is for the average person to make a $480,000 profit on something. You know, it's a gigantic gift that you've been given. Not to give it to me, but just telling you to understand the magnitude of that kind of money. We need to recognize how many lives that can change. Do I know you at all? Yes, would be the question. Who? Sorry? No, I don't know you. Yeah, sorry. Well, you just go out and get a new phone number, change your email address, and never talk to people again. No. And this is probably the reason I would never win the lottery, even though I need to check my tickets. I got some lottery tickets somewhere. I would probably never get to win the lottery because I'm a butthead. I am. I admit it. I'm a little bit of a jerk. So if I won $100 million, when people came knocking on the door, I would just laugh at them. I literally would go, yes, we just discussed that last night on your Zoom after the live, that you guys needed to give me $500,000. That was very good of you guys to do that. Remember, even for your people after the live, I would give that $150 to. So I think it's a great thing that you're discussing my need of $500,000, Ken. I really do. Thank you for doing that. But I would probably be that jerk off who would never give anybody who asked for money. I would be somebody who would give a lot of money away, but I wouldn't give it away to people that asked me for the money. I wouldn't do it. Yes, that too. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, there you go. But in all seriousness, I've talked to a lot of people, and $500,000 is life-changing money. Just imagine. Because pretty much anywhere in the country, you can buy a really nice house for less than $500,000, you know. Depending on where you live, in the level, I mean, you could be out of debt for $350,000, $400,000 home. You can have one of the nicest houses, something that would more than suffice. Do we all want that $5 million luxury beach home? Sure. But do you need that? No. And unless you have bukus of money making you money, having the carrying cost of a $5 million piece of property is not smart. Because taxes, insurance, your carrying cost is going to be brutal. Think about the electricity. I mean, our electric bill has gone crazy this summer, I'll tell you. I'm just going to give you some numbers. My electric bill usually averages, because we're on levelized billing, $100 a month. It has jumped up to $190 now, which means since it's been so hot all summer, that I've had to run up some really big electrical bills to get that adjustment that far out of whack. Meaning, once the weather cools off, and Lorelai goes to work, I was telling my brother this yesterday. Once the weather cools in September, and Lorelai goes to work, the windows are coming open, and the AC is going off. Because I got to get that accumulative amount of electricity we've been sucking on for the last 3 months during the summer way down. I got to get that bell curve back down. And the only way to do that, because I don't mind it being 80 degrees in the house. My wife does. I don't mind it. I don't mind it being 85 degrees as long as the fans are going. I can run the ceiling fans, have the windows open, and not run the AC until Lorelai comes home. And I can drop our bill down. And so I will do that. And even if it's miserable for me here in the house, I will. When Lorelai goes to work in October, November, and it starts getting cool, you know, I know it's the gas, but there's still some electricity ran into that. So we got to do that. Ken agrees and says, yes, that too. Yes. So I don't know how you guys are adjusting. My brother told me that, my brother told me, look, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, and I raise you $600. He said his electric bill last month was $800. And he said, and this month is going to be worse. It should be around $1,200. You know, and I'm like, holy shit and butt farts. I can't even afford $1,200 if I tried. I don't know what I would have to do if I had to pay a $1,200 electric bill. You know, so, man. Woo-wee. But then again, his property tax is $1,400 a month also. So he lives in Texas. Everybody thinks living in Texas is cheap, but I got a feeling it's not. It's not. So just keep that in mind. We got to get our electric bill back down. Our water consumption, not a big deal. Our gas has been okay, but our electric has taken a gigantic beating over these summer months. And so, you know, this weekend's going to be hot, but once football season starts, I'm telling you, the windows will pop open. So just my word of advice to all of you guys, get that bill down. Manage your expectations. So we went to a house the other day that blew me away. I am shocked how expensive houses are getting where we live. We went to a house the other day that these people purchased for $550, and it's only about 400 square feet more than our house. And they spent about $60,000 in remodeling it, and it's no nicer than our. I'm like, oh my God! I'm just hoping and praying when we go to sell this house eventually, that I can get a nice big chunk of money out of the selling of this house, so that I can pay cash for another house. That's our goal. Our goal moving to Alabama and/or Florida would be to take the proceeds from the increased value of this neighborhood, this area, and buy something that I can get paid off very quickly somewhere else. So I want you guys all to think about how can you do that. One thing I used to teach my young students was the most powerful thing that you can be is to be out of debt. When you have no debt, you are the king of the land. You are king of the land when you have no debt. Meaning, when you're debt-free, you can do anything you want to do. You're not dependent on others to dictate your life. You're not. If you need something, you got the money to do it. You got the ability to do it. One thing we should teach our young people, don't get into debt. Stay out of debt. You should teach all your children and their children and your grandchildren to stay out of debt. Get out of debt, stay out of debt. That's my number one piece of advice to everybody in the world. Get out of debt, stay out of debt. So, all right, let me see, where am I at? Reg says, yep, I'm not in debt anymore. It took me 15 years to get out of that hole. Yes. But doesn't it feel liberating knowing that you're no longer in debt? The only debt we have is our house, and that stresses me out. I know a lot of people go, well, that's good debt. Well, kind of, but no debt is good debt. No debt is good debt. If you can be debt-free in your house, then I highly encourage it. And that's where I want to be. I need to get, and to be honest, and I've said this, I know that I'm not going to live very much longer. So my primary goal is to make sure my wife has a house to live in that she doesn't got to pay for. Because I don't know how people can make it on one income these days. I just don't know how people can do it. So I need her to be financially, all she has to do is pay her insurance and taxes and things like that, she can manage. But if you got to pay a big old house payment, it's not going to work. So that's my goal. And plus, I want to be out of debt, because if we didn't have this house debt, one, my wife wouldn't have to have a job. Now, let me say this. My wife loves working. She has a corporate job and she loves it. It excites her. She has a good time with it. But if we didn't have a house payment, I would really insist on her not working so that we could go and goof off more. I went through hell to get where I'm at, but you made it, right? And you got to pat yourself on the back for making that. It takes a lot of balls. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of fortitude to change your life. Whether you have alcohol problems, drug problems, financial problems, weight issues, health issues, never underestimate what you've gone through to get where you're at in life. Never. One, it could always be worse. For two, you really got to sit back and go, I did that. I lost 200 pounds. I gave up drinking. I'm out of debt completely. I owe nobody a dollar, except for the government. And we're never going to get rid of the government. You went through hell, but now you're powerful. Because what a lot of people don't understand is you don't got to make a lot of money to be financially powerful. You got to be out of debt. If you have no debt, you can be you're more powerful out of debt, making $50,000 a year, than you are somebody in debt making $150,000 a year. Who do you think has more power? The guy making $150,000 a year with debt, or the guy making $50,000 with no debt? Telling you, no debt. No debt. And our society makes money off of us. And that's why this gotten so screwed up and financially in our world. We think it's okay to be into debt. We think it's okay to spend a fortune on a college education that's no good. We think it's okay to buy a $100,000 pickup that we barely drive. And then we pay, $500 a month in insurance for a $1,500 a month payment for something we don't use, for something we don't need. I like watches, as you guys all know, and I collect, inexpensive watches, but I have some nice watches. But I like the saying that, my favorite brand is Omega, which I don't have one because I have no kind of money like that. But a $10 watch is just as good as this $500 watch. It just is. It tells time. What does it do? It tells time. $100,000 car. You know what the difference between a $100,000 car and a $10,000 car is? $90,000. That's the difference. That's why when we got back to the States, I bought a pickup truck for 10 grand and it sits right there. I barely drive it 1,000 miles a year, but I have very little carrying costs. $24 a year in taxes and $350 a year in insurance is what I pay to keep my truck. If that was an $80,000 truck out there, the payments, the insurance, property tax, everything would be a lot higher. So I want you to take pride, Rick, and everybody else in there who's done this, of doing well for yourself, getting yourself in a position where you want to be. It's one of the best things guys can do. And I'm very proud of people that can do it. I'm envious. Like I said, I got a friend the other day or a while back that made 480 grand. And I don't think he understands how lucky he was to make $480,000. You know, granted, there's a lot of work, but hard planning involved. I gotta go to sleep now. All right, Meme, we appreciate you. Go get some rest. Take it easy. When you have no debt and you make enough income that you can enjoy your life to the standard that you want it to be, you're in the 1 percentile or less, maybe the half percentile. How many people on the planet Earth can say, if I want to go do something, I can go do it? I know, well, here, we're filthy rich where we live. Well, the people around us are, I'm not. We live where there's billion-dollar corporations right there. So I probably know 10 people that could do that here, you know, personally, that are friends, that literally, if they wanted to go jump a cruise ship tomorrow, they could go do it without batting an eye. But in the world, I only know 10 people. And they all happen to live here because Walmart, J.B. Hunt, Tyson's Food. Good night, my friend. We appreciate you. Ken says, it was good seeing you. Talk to you next time. Next time, if you want to see those boobies, cough up more money. Because, you know, David's too cheap to let you see them all for $2. But I want you to really think about that. How many people do you know that can pull the trigger and just do anything they want to do without stressing over it? That's the 1 percentile of the planet, or maybe a half a percentile of the planet. I mean the entire planet. So think about that. One, you're an American, for instance, or you're from Europe, you're from, you know, even Canada, where you have the ability to travel anywhere you want because of the visa that you have or the passport that you have. I don't care how much money you have in the Philippines, you still can't pack your shit tomorrow and go catch a plane to America. Can't do it. I don't care how much money you're worth in Mexico, you can't catch a plane and fly to America tomorrow. Just can't do it. So to fit into that category is a very unique thing. So we're blessed in many ways, but then if you have the financial ability to go, you know, I think, you know, I'd like to take a trip this week. I think I'd like to go see my dog's sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews over in Alabama. Yeah, you know, I'll just go. That's a great place to be. If you want to buy a new TV, you can just go to Walmart and buy the one that you want, or Best Buy and buy the one you want, and it have not a negative effect on you is a great place to be. If you want to go and have dinner somewhere really nice and it not affect you negatively, it's a great place to be. AJ's in the house. Is my views your world? Sure I can. You can indeed. How are you, my friend? What's going on in the land of PH? You know, AJ is one of those ones that is living the life. He's got a great channel. If you guys don't know, check his channel out. Make sure you guys do all that. But he's smart. He's healthy, he's young, he's living everybody's best life. But he's also doing it with a smart brain. He's not pissing away money just because he can. So if you're in that half percentile, be thankful for it and own it and recognize it. That's all I say. So I got friends here that have so much money coming out of their asses that they have no clue what they have. They have no clue the gift that have been giving them in their life. Have they worked for it? Sure. Do they deserve it? Sure, it's theirs. But they don't appreciate it. And I would just appreciate $500,000. AJ says, doing good. The rain has stopped. It's starting to get hot. That's good. The rain's stopping. It's still hot here in America, man. We're in this. It's 98 degrees right now. Right now, it's still 98. It's almost September. Football season right around the corner. It's still brutal here. We haven't had any rain in almost 3.5 weeks. We're struggling, but I'm glad the rain has stopped there. And when you live in an Asian country where there's a lot of Asian girls, it's always good when the weather gets hot because they wear less clothes. Ain't that right, AJ? I know where you were going with that, AJ. I know where you were going with that. Why is it good to live in an Asian country when it gets hot? Because they wear less clothes, Ken. So, now I'm glad you're doing well. You got any trips planned, AJ? We don't have anything planned. And well, we got this weekend, we got a barrio festival that we got to go to. I'm hoping it's going to be in the low 90s, so I don't just bake. But, and then October's coming up for us. So October the 3rd in Branson, Missouri. And then we also got the cruise ship we're going on in October. So, but yeah, right now we're going to a public barrio festival. So it's supposed to be the singing, the dancing, the food, not a cover charge, which is really nice. So Ken likes that, he says. Ken says, woo, LOL, lost a lot of luggage. LOL, lost a lot of luggage. There you go. You know. I talked to somebody in the Philippines the other day, and I got a couple of funny stories. But one of Lorelai's friends, I thought this was funny, because God loves the Philippines, you know that. You're going to Japan in 2 weeks? Nice, nice. What hotel you staying in? I'll fly over and meet you. That's cool. You know, what are you going to do in Japan besides just hang out and sightsee? We got a friend who called Lorelai the other night and said, hey, buddy, how are you? You know, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? My daughter's pregnated. She just found out that she's like 4 months pregnant. And Laura's like, oh, how exciting for you. Yay, baby. Ooh, you know. 3 days later, Lorelai gets a message saying, hey, my daughter just had her baby. Well, either somebody doesn't know what being pregnant means. I need to reboot. You might be done. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to be jumping off of here in a few minutes because I got some stuff I got to do myself. But yeah, I'll try to catch you. I'll try to stop in and say hi tonight. I should be around the house tonight. So Ken, I'll try to stop in and say hi to everybody tonight. So, Love Hotel. Ooh, does your girlfriend know you going to the Love Hotel? Be the best foodie. There you go. Oh yeah, I could do that. I love Japanese food. I would love to go to Japan and be a foodie. I would. I could do that. Because I think one, Japanese food is beautiful. And, you know. Ricky says, see you later, Ken. Good to see you. No worries. Yes, yes. No worries. Yes. Well, one of the days I'll come on to your live stream and get naked. I mean, you know. Make your live stream interesting, Ken. But that's good. Yeah, I love Japanese food. I think it's beautiful. I think it's very artistic. You know, and you eat with your eyes, right? So I would love to go to Japan and pick around. Now, next year, we go back to the Philippines. We're supposed to go to Singapore, I think, or Hong Kong. We're going somewhere besides the Philippines. We're going to spend 2 weeks in the Philippines, and then we're going to I think Singapore for 2 weeks. I think it was what my wife has planned. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. But, you know, what are you going to do? All right. Well, my dog Lily is over here giving me the evil eye. It's 48 minutes past our dog Lily's feeding time. She traditionally eats at 5 o'clock sharp, and it's 48 minutes after 5 o'clock. And she's laying by the door giving me the evil eyeball like, what in God's creation are you doing? You don't understand. I was supposed to eat my food at 5 o'clock. And here it is, 5:48. I have a problem. Whoop, now it's 5:49. What is your problem? Get over here and feed me. So, I'm going to jump off of here. I'm going to feed Lily. And then I'm going to eat dinner myself. I'm going to rest. I'll try to stop by Ken's later. Tomorrow I'm going to do another live stream about the book I've been reading. And then maybe do another night live stream. I'm trying to mix some things up. I've been having a lot of health issues. So when I feel good, I'm jumping on. When I'm not, I'm not. I'm trying not to push myself too much anymore because I'm having some issues. And so when I feel good, I'm trying to get on. When I don't, I'm just not. So... But let me thank everybody for coming in, all the thumbs up, all the super chats, all the great members coming in, all the things that we've learned tonight. So, time to go. All right, everybody, we appreciate you guys. Take care. If you need anything from us,